Today, I'm going to overview my experience using Consulting IQ AI platform to tackle some of the biggest problems in my industry. I've never used a tool like this before, so I was very excited to see what it was capable of. I started by signing in with my Gmail and then providing some background information about my company. I put in the business area, the company location, a quick business description here, product description, target market location. So for this example, I used Royal Caribbean, which is a company that I'm doing some consulting for. And I told it that we want to have amazing cruise vacations for families with world-class ship design activities and excursions. So that's the context that I gave it. And then I started by starting a new chat. Oops. Let me go to the top. So it started out by saying, welcome to the platform. It acknowledged that I work for Royal Caribbean and the commitment that Royal Caribbean has. And then it says that, I can help you with some consulting activities. It says I can help Royal Caribbean boost sales, expand into new markets, and enhance brand loyalty. So then I started my conversation with the Consulting IQ by saying, suggest two internal tool solutions for the crew that can help them better schedule the activities that happen on a ship. Have one solution leverage AI, and also create a SWOT analysis for each solution and present to me which one is best and why. So I wasn't sure if it could handle a prompt this complex. I really wanted to test it to see if it can show me two different solutions, one specifically using AI, and then I wanted to see if it can do a SWOT analysis to then present to me which one was the best, to really ensure that it has a full understanding of which solution would be the best case scenario for my company. So I was a bit concerned with the output at first because it did give me a SWOT analysis, but this SWOT analysis is just for Royal Caribbean in general. So it says that the SWOT analysis evaluates Royal Caribbean's cruise travel operations, yada, yada, yada. It just talks about the company in general, right? Strong brand reputation, global market presence. It goes into weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So yes, it does give me a SWOT analysis, but it doesn't highlight any of the things that I had in my original prompt. It was supposed to generate two internal tool solutions for me and then create a SWOT analysis for those two solutions, but it did not. It just did it for the Royal Caribbean as a whole. So then there were some suggested prompts that were pulled up underneath. And so I just clicked on one of the ones that surfaced. So the one that came up was suggest ways to use digital tools to improve internal communication and collaboration. And then this time, the output was for my original prompt with the two solutions and the SWOT analysis. So this one, it acknowledges that there needs to be coordination between busy shipboard departments, and that we can leverage digital tools to significantly improve internal communication and collaboration. And so then it breaks down two solutions. The first is this AI-powered activity scheduling platform. It gives me the description. It gives me some key features, which were helpful. And actually, these are pretty solid ideas. These are things that we were thinking about doing ourselves in the company. So things like real-time attendance tracking with QR codes or wearables, integration with crew communication tools like Slack and Teams. And then it provides this nice chart of a SWOT analysis. And then it also provides me the second solution as well, right? With the same thing, a description, some key features, a SWOT analysis. And then it goes even further and gives me an executive summary and recommendation. So it evaluates the two solutions based on automation, data insights, ease of adoption, scalability, cost, and what it's best for. And then it gives me its recommendation saying that for Royal Caribbean scale and ambition, the AI-powered scheduling and collaboration platform is the best choice. And it even goes even further to suggest some next steps and an estimated timeline for rollout. So honestly, I was really impressed with this output. It's just a short description of what the solution could be, but it's definitely a good starting point for somebody that wants to think through problems like this. So if I was in this role, I could very easily take these ideas and run with them. So next, I just wanted to test out what else Consulting IQ could offer. And I noticed that at the bottom of the screen, there were these business prompts and KPI libraries. And so I filtered down into industry and I went to travel and logistics. And I scrolled down and I found one about cruise occupancy rate. So I wanted to learn more about what cruise occupancy rate was. So I know what crew occupancy rate is, but I wanted to see what exactly the AI could pull up about it. And I was actually really impressed with the description of what cruise occupancy rate is for the KPI. So it does a nice description. It breaks down the definition with the formula. It then goes through and gives you the industry standard values. So it tells you, between mainstream, premium, luxury, industry average, what the total occupancy rate percentage should be around. It gives me the occupancy rate for my company. And then it goes through and offers some recommendations as well. So this was a really nice overview. I appreciated that it went through and gave me this much detail. And then the last thing I did was I asked for Consulting IQ to give me a detailed rollout plan for the AI-powered activity scheduling and collaboration platform it suggested. And I wanted it to highlight some key user stories that we should define for the engineering team. So in the first output, it gave me like this quick 6 to 9 months timeline for rollout, and I wanted it to expand on that. So it did. It started with an executive summary of a nice chart of everything and the estimated duration. And then it went through and broke down each of them into objectives and key deliverables, which was very helpful. So for each stage, it did this. And then here are the key user stories that it highlighted. And it did it in the format that you create a user story with, where it does the as a, I want to, so that, which was nice that it automatically did that for me. And then it gives you a nice summary of the rollout plan again and some recommendations. So overall, I was incredibly impressed with what Consulting IQ suggested. It had me in the first half, though, I'm not going to lie, because it didn't give me the output that I was hoping for at first. Because when I was asking it for the 2 solutions and the SWOT analysis, it just gave me the SWOT analysis for Royal Caribbean. So I was a little worried that the tool was not going to be as helpful as I was expecting. But then when I further played around with it, it then gave me the output I was expecting. So that was nice. So I do see incredible value for a tool like this in all kinds of industries. So I'm a product management consultant, so I can use this tool to help suggest paths forward in any new space I'm working on for a new project. I can use it to test out ideas and perform market analysis and SWOT analyses to see if the idea is sound. However, you don't need to be a consultant to get value out of a tool like this. In any industry, you can give Consulting IQ your biggest pain points at work that you're working to solve on, and it can give you an output that will give you a head start on tackling those challenges. You can use this tool to show initiative and maybe even charter new projects in your organization, and you can follow the roadmap that a tool like this can lay out for you. Companies can definitely use this tool to get the ball rolling on new initiatives or to validate initiatives they've already started. However, I do see some challenges for adopting a tool like this. The first is that the tool only has the context that you give it. So in the first part of the video, I showed that you can give it some context about your company. Well, it only allows you 512 words in that overview section. But there is an option to feed it documents or additional information as well. I just didn't play around with that today. The tool does not have all the context that a worker at the company will have. And in addition, the tool can be wrong or off base about what it is suggesting. So I think everything should be taken as a suggestion and not as fact. However, knowing these limitations and with what I've tested today, I see immense value for the implementation of AI consulting platforms in my work and industry, and I'm sure for other industries as well. It can be a great tool to get the ball rolling and to validate ideas. Thank you.